What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 540 of the Fitness Business University podcast. This is Tom Langton. I'm here with Vince Gabriele. Vince, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing outstanding. Very excited to talk referrals.
We're talking referrals. Well, we got to get this. This is a long title today. How to build a referral system that brings new clients every month without feeling like a beggar. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So why is the title so long?
Well, I wanted to add that beggar part in because I think people don't get referrals because they don't ask for them. And they don't ask for them because they don't want to look weird and look stupid by like being like, hey, can you send me a referral?
Right.
And so today I want to set the record straight and teach people actually how to get referrals without feeling like that weird, awkward, feeling like a beggar situation.
But a lot of people that we talk to in this space will say things like, my gym's really good, and referrals just automatically come.
Yeah.
So that's a common thing you hear is like,
yeah.
We're so good, and my clients just bring them to me. I don't even need to do anything.
Right, and partly of that is true. Like you should be. We're going to talk about this, but they should be good enough to get referrals. But do you want to get some referrals, or do you want to get a lot of referrals? This podcast is about getting a lot of referrals.
Okay, but before we do that, we got to talk about the New York Knicks. We're both Knicks fans.
Oh man!
I don't know when this is going to be released, but the Knicks are now in the NBA Finals.
Sweep of the Cleveland. Actually, you want to know a funny story? So right before this, I was sending a fax to Dan Kennedy. Mm-hmm. And I'm redoing the website. And Dan sent me a note that was almost like a compliment.
Does he not have an email?
No, just fax.
Like literally paper and a fax machine.
Yeah. You can do it on your phone though. You can do it on your phone.
Okay.
So I'm sending him a fax. This was that's why I was late to this podcast. Mm-hmm. So I'm sending Kennedy this fax, right? But Kennedy lives in Cleveland.
Oh,
and I put a PS at the bottom of it. It's like, sorry, as a lifelong Knicks fan, sorry about your Cavs.
That's
because he's a Cleveland guy.
That's a question I have for anybody.
So I never thought I'd be in the position to talking shit to Dan Kennedy.
But you did.
But here I am.
But that's a question I have because if you watched the game last night, Game 4, they swept them. The crowd was like 50% Knicks fans.
Oh yeah.
So I have a question for anybody watching this that's from Ohio. Like, what's up with that? Like, could you imagine the Garden being
Cavs fans?
It's ridiculous. But whenever this is released, hopefully by the time this comes out, we're NBA champions. Oh yeah. First time since 1972.
Who do you think that they're gonna?
I don't know, but what is it, 2-2 on the other side now?
That big dude scares me.
Wemby, yeah, San Antonio.
He scares me.
Plus, the last time we were in the finals, we lost to the Spurs.
Yes.
1999.
And we lost to Olajuwon, big center.
A couple years before that.
Duncan and Olajuwon.
I'm with you. All right, let's go. We had to address the New York Knicks.
Yes.
But let's get back to it. How to build a referral system. So let's talk about that though. So a lot of gym owners will say, just have a really good product. Have a great gym, and the referrals will come.
Yep.
And I think early on, like in my business, there was no structure for referrals early on.
Yep.
People just brought us. So that does happen,
yep.
Right? That's a real thing?
Yep, it should happen, right? If you're doing a good job, you should get referrals. And that's like, when we get into this, I don't want to touch on this yet because I have one thing to say before we get into it. But when we get into the meat of this, we're going to talk about there must be a business that provides a good enough quality service to be referable, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to earn it, okay? But the first thing I want to kind of unpack is I have this concept that I've invented very little. You know that. I'm not a very creative.
You're not very creative.
Right?
We steal. We're a great thief.
I'm a great thief. Right? As Boyle says, is what we should be doing.
100%.
Right. And so I created this concept called the marketing glove. Many people have heard me talk about it, but basically it's like, hey, instead of having one way to get new customers, ideally you have 5, right? And that 5 is like symbolic, right? 5 doesn't have to be exactly 5, but we just don't want to rely on one way to get new customers.
It should be multiple ways to bring people in.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. And so this is like a symbolic thing of holding up a hand. Mm-hmm. You've got 5 fingers on a glove, right? Question for you.
Yeah.
What's the strongest finger in the hand?
Thumb.
Yeah. Like, look at that. Like,
that's what separates humans from other animals.
Yes, 100%. Right. And so I look at the referral system as the thumb of the marketing glove, right? So you have one finger of the glove could be Facebook ads. One finger of the glove could be email marketing. One finger of the glove could be social media. But I look at what's the strongest, the thing that really can drive because it's not about the most amount of leads generated. It's about the most amount of customers.
Right.
Right? That's what matters. Not leads generated, customers.
Because you could technically generate no leads and get, referrals, I guess, are leads.
Yeah,
right?
they're a lead. Yes,
but
they are
from the other. So do you? Is this a must? So you talk about the marketing glove.
Yep.
Right. You don't have to do email. Not everybody does email marketing. Not everybody has to do meta ads. Right. Is this one that everybody watching this has to do?
I think everybody should.
So this is a must when it comes to marketing.
This is an absolute must. I think it's the foundation because your performance on referrals, right, is indicative to the quality of the product that you're providing, right?
Yep.
So it's like if you are providing a really good value and really good service, ultimately it's going to drive word of mouth. Ultimately it's going to drive referrals. It should grow your business. And the best part about referrals is that, like, what happens when you get a customer and the phone rings? They're like, hey, I got this friend, his name's Mike, he trains with you guys. He told me to call you guys. He said, you guys are the best. Just put me, whatever Mike's doing, put me on for that one.
Right.
And I'm good to go, whatever it costs.
It's the easiest sale.
Yeah.
They're from a sales
Like if you look at the close percentage from cold Facebook ads and referrals, it's like not even close.
And you automatically have a connection with the person.
Yeah.
It's like a mutual friend. It's like being a friend of a friend.
And a lot of times the people that come in through referral are also going to be the ones that refer also,
people, for
right?
sure.
So yeah, it's really important.
Okay, so let's talk about the different types then, because there is that flow of people that are it's just gonna happen. You have a good product, people like you, people like your business, they're gonna bring their friends in. Now you're tracking that, right? What else? Like how do I? So let's say 1 month I can get 10 referrals, the next month I can get 1. How do I have a more steady stream? I guess is my question.
Yep. So I learned this from a guy named Dean Jackson, and he created this concept called accidental referrals and orchestrated referrals. And what he says is and I believe this to be true, most people get referrals by accident. And what that means is you do a good job, right? Your clients like you, you build trust, which I think is really important. Mm-hmm. And randomly, someone gets into a conversation with somebody else. They tell their friend about the gym that they're training at. The friend seems interested, and the friend eventually goes to your website, looks you up, fills out the form,
and they're in.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But if you think about that, that's very, very hard to happen. Like, there's a lot that has to line up for that to happen.
And there's no way to do that consistently, right? How do you track that? If you have a referral goal or a marketing goal every month,
you can't.
There's no way to track that.
Right. That's why it's called accidental.
Okay.
Right? Because it's happening by accident. You have no way to control it. And the way we can get more referrals, because that's what this podcast is about, is hopefully everyone listening to this is getting referrals.
Accidentally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. You want to get you want some accidental. If you're not getting any accidental referrals,
you probably suck.
You probably suck.
Yeah.
Right. I'll give you a quick statistic. This is a metric I like to use, but if you have 100 customers, you should be getting 20 referrals a year. Okay. 20% yield on the current customers you've got. Okay. Right. That's like a good barometer to see. So for that would be like 2 to 3 referrals a month. Would be that you're getting referrals. And now, we can smash that with what we're going to talk about today.
Way higher.
But in terms of like, if you're looking to say, hey, how am I doing on referrals? If you have 100 customers and almost all of your customers are coming from other sources than referrals, like you're doing something wrong.
So how important is it is this a separate number on the scorecard? You talk a lot about having a scorecard.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm tracking leads, I'm tracking sales, right? You have the flow through the funnel, yep. Right? Is this a totally separate number?
Not necessarily. What you're going to track is you're going to track where your leads and your customers are coming from. Okay. Right. And so Mike, who runs a gym, right? Every month he sends me a list of the updated last 30 customers that we signed up, and all it is the client on the left, the source where they came in on the right, and what I'm looking for, going back to the marketing club concept, I am nervous and scared when all of a sudden the source on the right side is the same thing. I don't want that to happen. I want some from my newspaper ads. I want some from referrals. I want some from Facebook ads. I want some from my website. I want a well-balanced attack for us to generate new customers. But I always, always, always want to see 5 out of the 30 be referrals.
Okay, so accidental is one. What is the other side called? You didn't tell us what the other one was.
I did. You just weren't listening. Okay, you're still like in New York Knicks land. You're celebrating too much over there, Big Tom. I did say it.
What is it?
And the other one, Andres even said it. Look, what was it, Andres? Thank you, Andres. So are you not, Big Tom, have another sip of your drink.
He was here listening before. You didn't say it. We'll go back and check.
I did say it.
We'll check the tape.
I did say it. We'll check the tape.
Check the tape. Orchestrated is the other kind.
That is.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about orchestrated.
So here's what orchestrated is. Orchestrated is things that you do to generate referrals. Meaning, you can, let's say you get a referral, right? And it's kind of like what I explained before. Randomly, someone calls up, hey, I heard from your friend. Like, that is the accidental. Orchestrated is you create an event, you create a process, you create from a conversation something that you did that made that referral happen. And when we do that more, what happens is we can start to predict this. We can start to say, hey, I know if I do something like a bring a friend day, which I'll talk about, I know that we can probably predict that we're going to get 1 to 2 referrals from that event.
Okay.
Right? And so it allows us to be much stronger and have a much more predictable process for getting these very, very high value clients.
All right.
Okay. I want to go back to one. Can I go back to one thing?
Yeah.
I want to talk about this whole trust thing of what must be true to get a referral. We kind of glossed over it, and I think it's an important thing. So probably about a year ago, one of our mastermind members was in town for CEO Mastermind. This guy named TJ, who you know, right?
Yeah.
You think he was the 2025 Gym Owner of the Year award.
Yeah. TJ Lopez.
Yep.
Shout out TJ Lopez.
Shout out TJ. And so TJ came in and he's like, hey, do you have a good chiropractor? My back's killing me. And immediately I was like, hold on. I pulled up my phone. I texted my guy Slade. That's what his name is, right? And I texted him. I was like, hey, I got a good buddy in town. Can you take him tomorrow? Our event was that morning at 9 o'clock. I was like, can you take him tomorrow morning at 7? He was like, of course. Takes him in. Obviously, everything goes great. TJ's texts me from the office like, oh, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you so much. Took good care of him. The next meeting, he came back. He went and saw him again. So now there's like a thing. He's coming from Long Island, right? But now there's a thing. My lack of hesitation to refer Slade, right? Chiropractic is tough, right?
Yep,
It's just like a lot of people are afraid of chiropractors, and a lot of people are afraid to refer chiropractors because you don't know what's going to happen. You're going to crack his back, and all of a sudden the spine's going to fall out. Like what's going to happen, right? I had zero hesitation to recommend Slade.
Why?
Okay, because many reasons why. Okay, the first reason was I was a customer, and I had personal experience with Slade, and I had a positive, good experience when I went. So when I went to him, he was helping me get ready for certain stuff. I got really, really good results. The second thing is he was a bro, right? He built a relationship with me. There was trust back and forth. He always was there on time. Like he always, like if I needed to change my time, like it was just like the process from start to finish made me have zero hesitation to be able to refer someone else to them. And I think what I'm getting at is that is how you want your customers to view you. That without hesitation, they will pull up their phones like, dude, go see Tom. Right. Dude, go see this. It's like, do you do a good enough job, right, to be able to make that happen? Because this is very important. If the opposite is true, if someone is like, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of not sure. Like, do you have a situation where you know someone that they're in business and you're like, you know you like them, but you're not really sure if you want to send your sister to them?
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
That's a very bad situation to be in.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not saying 100% of your customers are going to be like I am with Slade. But the goal should be to run your business with as many of your clients as possible to be able to pick up the phone, no brainer, no questions asked, go see that guy. They're the best. They're going to take care of you. That is how you want to structure your business.
It's the coffee test. Remember the coffee
Yeah,
test?
yeah, exactly.
So Martin Rooney used to talk about the car test. If a kid, when we train kids,
Right.
if the kid got in the car from the parents said, how was it? And they just went, oh, it was okay. Like they should be raving and telling them everything they do. And now for the adults, we called it the coffee test.
Coffee test, right.
Where if they're going out after they train with you at 10, they're going out for coffee at 12. And it's like they have their gym clothes on.
Yeah, the key word was, how was it?
How was it? And
what's the answer?
Do they say like, oh, it was okay, it was all right, or do they say, oh, you got to come try this place?
Yes.
Two totally different experiences.
Yes.
And that's goes back to you got to be good, have relationships, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The coffee test.
So I think that's a huge thing, is just generating that trust enough, because and I was getting to somewhere. Referrals and sending someone a referral is not, don't look at it as like your client is doing you a favor, okay? Because they're not.
Yeah.
People refer to elevate our status in the relationship. It is I'm going to call it a subconscious thing, but we are all always, this is a primal thing, we're all always trying to elevate ourselves. Right? And so me referring someone to Slade, okay? Even though I was fully, I didn't get anything from it. I didn't get any money from it. There was no referral rewards or anything like that. But what happened in my relationship with TJ, because I referred Slade and he had a good experience, it went up.
For sure.
TJ now looked at me in a higher esteem because I sent him someone that he had a good experience with. And so that's what people got to understand, is that people are always afraid to do it, right? Because they think like, oh, I'm bothering people. But no, like if you do a good enough job and you build enough trust, people are actually benefiting, right? What does it feel like when you send someone somewhere to a restaurant and they have a great time? Like you feel good.
Right.
Like you feel really good when that happens.
But it's a trust thing where people, if you send someone to a bad restaurant and then they go, oh, this guy's an ass. Like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like he's so full of it. He's like, yeah.
So there's a risk to it.
For sure.
So there's 100%. We want to be in that position, but there's also, if we don't have that, there's a big risk where people will not refer. They will purposely not refer because of that risk, and they don't want to not just risk their friend having a bad experience. They don't want to risk their relationship with that friend.
Well,
and so that's really where this is the psychology behind this, of why people do and why people don't. That's why I wanted to touch base on that.
Let's get into it. We want orchestrated referrals.
Yeah. So again,
so
orchestrated is things that you do.
We're taking specific actions to get someone to come in the door.
Correct. I'm going to give you the quick story to tee this up. Okay. You're bothered by my stories today, aren't you?
No, you just have a lot of stories. I just hope it's good.
So I'm sitting at our kitchen counter it's me, Vanessa, and a couple. We're friends with them. And Vanessa had just started using, do you know what HelloFresh is? Mm-hmm. So HelloFresh it's basically like a meal service where they send you like the spice packets and the food and stuff.
But it's like, is this the one that's like the exact amount?
Exact amount, right? And it's uncooked food, right? It's not like you still have to cook it. It just gives you everything.
It's like a pack of all the food.
It's like a pack of all. It's terrible food, absolutely terrible. So we were in the process of doing it, and we liked it at first. Okay, it was good at first. And Vanessa's talking about it. It's like, yeah, we're doing this thing, HelloFresh. And the girl that's at the counter, she's just like, oh my God, I heard about that. I really, really want to try that. And Vanessa goes, oh, really? Oh, so they sent me a text the other day where I can give a free box of food to a friend. So Vanessa pulls out her phone and she texts her a code. And she got the code and she got a free box of food. And that was like the perfect example of, like, in my mind, of like, that is what we need to do. We need to teach our people how to refer.
Make it really easy.
Make it really easy, right? And these ways, these things that we're going to go over help make it easy for people to refer.
All right, so let's get into let's get into them.
All right.
Give me like, I want some concrete strategies.
Okay.
How can we get this done?
Okay, so here's the first one. I'm going to go with number 2 first. I'm going to go back around to the number first one.
Figured you would.
Yep. So the first one is a bring a friend week.
Okay.
Okay. real simple, real easy. We had a guy in CEO Mastermind named Christoph, Gym Owner of the Year finalist. He told me that he got 2 members from each referral Bring a Friend week that he did. Now, you might not be thinking that that's a lot, but he did one every month. 2 customers every month. 24 new customers in a year from Bring a Friend Day. Now, what does a Bring a Friend Day cost? Nothing. What do you have to do to promote it? Send 3 emails and put a couple signs up and tell your members at the gym. 24 new clients at probably $5,000 to $6,000 lifetime value just on this one strategy alone. And I think what the problem is people do a Bring a Friend week once, they get 1 person, and then they think, oh, that was a flop. How is that a flop? If you got 1 person from a Bring a Friend week, 1, you didn't spend anything to get it.
Right.
You got 1 new customer from it. You spent 3 emails in an hour preparing it for it. How is that a loss? And I think that's where people go wrong. But basically, there's so many ways to structure this. And the important thing I think I want people to realize is that there's an intentional, orchestrated process that you are saying to your members, hey, this week, this day, this month, whatever, I'm not going to go into specifics of that. You can bring a friend to a workout. And just that opportunity and just that, hey, this is a free thing, there's nothing they have to pay, there's nothing they have to do, show up and just bring the friend, that's a very, very high value thing, right? And what do most people do? They don't do it, or they do it once and then they stop and then they don't do it consistently. So I think that's one where that's like a clearly an orchestra. You're not waiting for referrals to come. You're doing things that actually generate referrals.
And there's a bunch of different ways to do this, she said, right? You can do a week, you can do a day. You just have to have I think a big thing with this is making sure your team is prepared to handle this, right? An influx of new people coming in the door. I think in the large group setting, it's much easier. You basically just need spots in the classes. But if someone is, doing customized programs, I think that's where a lot of people kind of balk at this one. It's like, yeah, we're different, and we can't. It's hard to bring someone in for one workout because, I think there's always a lot of conversations around that.
Yeah, I think that people are, especially the person that brings the friend. That person that brings the friend they're probably willing to scrap their whole workout and just help their friend the whole time.
Right.
Like they
want to show off almost.
Yeah, like we have a max of 6 in a group.
Yeah.
But we'll have 7 sometimes if it's a Bring a Friend week and someone comes in and won over, because like we almost treat that person that brought the person like we ignore that person. We don't even help that person. It's just like we make sure that the friend is helping the other person and getting them. We're almost like turning that person into a coach, to help that person out. So yeah. Do you have to stick to your ratio all the time? I don't think you do. I think you figure it out and get people in the door. Like I have this concept that I teach called the lonely kettlebell theory, and it is the concept says it is more expensive to have a kettlebell not being used than it is to have someone using it for free.
It's true.
And to bring a friend, right? Because there's no chance of a new customer.
If it's not there.
If there's no one there.
Yeah.
And so more of these types of things allow more opportunities to get people to become members.
Is there overkill with this though? Like you said Christoph was doing it once a month or once a week. Is there too much where your members start going like, all right, I think that's also the fear of like they're and that goes back to the title of like without being a beggar.
Yeah. Is
there too much where you start?
But what are you begging for? Like even if you don't get anybody, or even if your members are obviously saying, shut up, don't ever do this again, but that's probably not happening. But you're not begging for referrals. All you're doing is saying, hey, next week you can bring a friend. That's not begging. That's just creating an opportunity for someone to bring a friend.
It's true.
Right? Begging is you asking every customer for a referral every day. Like that's begging for referrals. This is just saying, hey, we're having to bring a friend next week. Think about who you want to bring.
All right. So
if you don't want to bring anybody, that's cool.
So if you're not doing Bring a Friend week or Bring a Friend day, implement it. It's a really simple way.
Yeah, and I would say like, it doesn't. You're right about that. It doesn't have to be monthly. A lot of people aren't. Christoph does well with monthly.
Yeah.
But I would say majority of people do it quarterly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Next is internal challenges. And internal challenges are things that you do. You've heard of external challenges like. You have a 6-week fat loss challenge, or you get people to try and sign up that are non-members, and they sign up for like $300 or $500 to come in and do a challenge at your gym.
Right.
We've had, this because you were here when we did a bunch of them.
That's a big one.
Great success with member-only challenges.
For sure.
Meaning that we didn't market it at all to the outside world. It was only marketed to, you got 100 customers, you got 150 customers, and it was only marketed internally, okay? The only way that someone from the outside could join this event was through referral. Now, there's multiple ways to do it. I'll give you 2 examples. The first example is we do this thing every year, and Andres knows this. We do this thing every year called March Madness. It's the stupidest, most effective idea I've ever seen. Like the fact that it worked, like when Mike told me he was doing it for the first time, I was like, that's really dumb. And I don't think anyone's gonna participate in that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, they're like rabid dogs. Yeah. Like when March Madness comes around, our customers are like, we have to do a whole podcast on March Madness. Actually, we should bring Mike in to do it. But so March Madness, we get anywhere from, I think we get a roughly, I'm gonna say 40 to 50% of our customers participate in March Madness, which is like phenomenal, right? To do
that type of percentage.
That type of percentage, phenomenal, right? And that's a side note. I do think people should start tracking participation rates for these types of things. It kind of tells you how engaged your members are.
Right.
Same thing with like surveys. Like if you send a survey and like 1% of your members do the survey, you have a problem. Like you should be tracking that. Like don't track so much of what the survey results are. Track what percentage of your customers do the survey.
Are into it. Yeah.
Track what percentage of your customers are participating in your events. That shows that they're engaged in your world, right? So we have anywhere from 40 to 50% of people that do this. It's a thing where it's a point system. So they're put into teams. They get points. And one of the ways they get lots of points is through
bring a friend.
Sending us a referral. Right? Sending us a referral. And so I think the first time we did it, we ended up getting 15 referrals in 1 month, just from this March, because they're getting points for it. They want to win.
Want to compete.
Or they want to win. They want to compete. So they're bringing all kinds of. I think this time we got 11. I don't think we got as many this year as we did last year. We got 11. But still, 11 referrals in 1 month is absolutely incredible.
So the challenge doesn't have to be, and I think people hear challenge, they immediately think fat loss, weight loss.
No,
and there's a lot of gyms like we don't do that. Had nothing. This is just like a competition within the gym.
Yeah, it was
point system.
Yeah, point system. They got points for
taking a selfie, posting on Instagram, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Just a little friendly.
And they wanted to compete. They had fun with it. They had like so much fun. And we don't have a private Facebook group. We have a private Instagram group. And the amount of posts that go on in this group is like crazy. I'm talking like 20 posts an hour.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy if people posting
people get into
the amount of, they're really into it, right?
But I think that's part of it is the energy behind, the energy that you put behind it too as a staff of just saying like, oh, we're doing this challenge.
Yeah.
You got to hype it up. There's a lot that you have to put into on your end as well.
Yeah, no, and that's why like these things are, you know, I always talk about WrestleMania, right? There's WrestleMania, there's SummerSlam, there's the Royal Rumble, there's Survivor Series, pillar things that happen every year. Well, our clients are getting used to, hey, we do March Madness every year, right?
Yeah.
But the point of this is generating referrals is built into the thing. Meaning when we have this, we know we're going to generate at least some referrals from this. That's an orchestrated process. The other one would be more like a March Madness. This is more back when in your day, we did what's called a, I forget what we call it, but what did we call it? We would call it a
fat loss challenge.
No, it was where we didn't market it at all. We just basically said it was. I can't remember the name, but it was like a no promo 6-week challenge where we did promote it and referral based 6-week challenge.
Yeah,
that's what we called it, a referral based 6-week challenge, and basically it was a challenge that we grew internally. It was only open to our members. It was a fat loss thing, but the only way that people would get free entry, we would charge for it. The only way they would get free entry is if they brought a friend. Yeah. Right. So we incentivized them to bring a friend through getting free entry.
Because we did cash prizes. We also did free membership. We did a year-long membership for the winning team.
Yeah, prizes and stuff.
And if they brought a friend, if their partner was an outside person, it didn't cost them anything. So they had a chance to win a year free.
At no cost.
All they had to do was bring one referral.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we did. So those are like internal things that you They're not external. You're not promoting them. And that's the cool thing for people. Like the one thing you have to have is you have to have customers.
Right.
Like if you're doing this and you have like 12 customers, it doesn't work that well. Right. So like that's why I want people to grow their business.
But the marketing for that is easy because then you train your trainers on the floor. That's what they're talking about. Leading up to March Madness, everyone's talking about it. You have them captive audience every time they come in to train.
Here's how they promote it really quickly. You send emails. You post flyers.
In the gym. Post flyers in the gym.
Post flyers in the gym.
Yeah.
That's real estate.
Yeah.
Okay. You make announcements at class. Okay. And then you put social posts into your private Facebook group.
Private groups.
Right. So you have a private Facebook group.
You're not publicizing this outside at all.
You don't need to know about it. But those are the 4 pillars of promoting an internal event.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. So we got Bring a Friend Week. We got internal challenges.
Yep.
What else?
Events.
Be more specific.
Yeah, events are like, so think about like probably about 2 or 3 months ago, we had a seminar here. Mm-hmm. And the seminar was called the Anti-Aging Fitness Formula. And we promoted it to our customers. We promoted it outside, so there's like a hybrid. Mm-hmm. And then what we did was we kind of went to our members that were coming to the thing, and we went to them and asked them to bring a friend. Right? As you come to this, like we would love for you, and we had a few people that brought their spouses. Perfect.
Yeah.
Like there's no better. So proximity is so powerful. The best chance you have as a referral is the person closest to the person that is a member of yours.
Right.
Right. That's where you're going to get the most. So you have events like that, like seminars and workshops. You also have, and you've been part of these, but charity events.
Yeah.
Right. People love to bring people to charity events. So you could do like charity workouts on the weekends and things like that. Rachel Cosgrove, I was on a workshop with her. She had this like acronym she used, but it was basically, I can't remember the exact acronym, but it was just like something to invite someone to.
100%.
Right? So like do things that create an opportunity to, she had an acronym for it, I don't remember, but do things that create an opportunity to invite someone to something. And the problem is like, this does take a little bit of work, does take a little planning, does take a little organization. But if you want to create opportunities that your clients have to get you in front of their friends, like even like when we used to do parties,
bring a friend to a
end
party.
of year parties or barbecues,
Bring
or
your
we used to do like a holiday parties and dress up.
See that with the holidays are
anniversaries.
The holidays are a big one. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day. It was always moms train for free, dads train for free. Valentine's Day we would do. Couples, bring your spouse. And it was a specific class just for our members to bring their spouses. And that's the only people that were allowed in the class. This was at Alpha. So the spouse was a big one. And then
what month did you do the spouse one?
Valentine's Day.
Oh, Valentine's Day. Okay.
And then a coworker event where we had classes just for nurses, healthcare.
Oh, that's
classes,
good.
Firefighter classes, police, so just very specific.
Yeah.
Just open to it was free class. So it was basically bring a friend, but they were very specific.
Oh, that's great.
To a certain demographic, whether it was your spouse, whether it was your coworkers or whatever. So
you themed them out.
Basically, themed bring a friend classes, but they always worked well.
That's really good.
Because then people in their mind was like, oh, I can fit in here because it's only going to be people kind of like me.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, because I think people can be intimidated to come in where it's like, oh, there's going to be a bunch of other husbands here who don't train.
Yeah.
There's a little less barrier to entry to come in.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, so we got events, internal challenges, bring a friend.
Next one is the point of sale referral. Okay.
All right.
So
you talked about this a lot. Okay.
So do you know what the reticular activating system is?
I've heard of it.
So basically, when you go and you buy a car, and let's say you go and you're looking at Toyota Tundras, right? Mm-hmm. And you go on the lot, you look for a Toyota Tundra, and you don't buy it, and you leave. That day,
you see them everywhere.
You see Toyota Tundras everywhere, right? Are you all of a sudden seeing more Toyota Tundras? No. You're just noticing Toyota Tundras more because it's in that part of your brain called the reticular activating system is lit up, right? Because you just did that.
Right.
And so the point of sale referral, it's the same concept. Your business is on their top of mind. When someone signs up for something it's new, right? That business is on their top of mind more than when someone is 5 years into your business. And so what you're doing is you're taking advantage of that process, that they are more likely to talk about you more likely to bring you up in a conversation when they're new, when they just signed up, because people are excited, right? They're excited to get rolling, right? And so the point of sale referral is a process that we've been doing for many, many years. And it's essentially you ask them for a referral right when they sign up.
Like the day they're here.
Yep, right, because they're the most excited, and you basically, the language is sometimes, hey, part of the process that we do here when you become a new member, we want you to help spread this to someone else. And so what we do is we give them a free month to give us a gift. And we do it as a black metal card, right? So I think the key is a lot of people ask for a referral and they say, hey, do you know anyone? And they're like, I don't know. But we position it as, hey, because you're new and because you're just getting started, we want to congratulate you and we want to give you this gift. And this gift is a 30-day membership for you to give as a gift to a friend, right? And you get into the conversation about, right? And so now it's a little easier for them to give that away, right?
They're physically giving them something.
Right, but they're the hero.
Right.
They're the person, instead of being like, hey, do you want to come to this gym? I just joined a gym. Do you want to come with me? No, it's like, hey, I just joined this gym. Here's a free 30-day membership
they gave me,
right? So it's kind of like goes back to the HelloFresh thing that I talked about earlier of, hey, make it easy for someone to refer. It's a lot easier to give a free 30-day membership to somebody than it is for you to beg someone else to come in.
So it's not just I just sold you on a membership and then I go, hey, do you know anybody else? There's more steps to this. There's got to be way more specific.
Yeah. And I think the physical card is very powerful. Like showing the physical card. Fortunately, it didn't work during COVID very good.
Yes.
We couldn't do that one. As we got creative and found different ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, that point of sale. The other place you could do it is the first sign of success. Right, so let's say they're 2 to 3 months in and they weigh in on the InBody and they lose a bunch of weight and they're super excited and they're all happy. And like that's another opportunity to do it.
So you want to get them when the energy is the highest.
Yes, yeah, well, like a sign of success, a time where they're happy, a time where and they're happy when they're starting. They're happy when they're first, lose their first pounds or lift their first weight, and that's the leverage.
Okay.
And this kind of dovetails nicely to the last one I wanted to talk about, which was. How many times did people come up to you at Alpha when you were there and be like, dude, Tom, Alpha's awesome. Like, I love this place.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. You guys are so great. I love it here. Like, all the time, every day. And what most people do is they're like, thanks a lot.
Shucks,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so nice. Thanks a lot. And they lose a huge opportunity. And so I teach this thing called the cue, routine, and reward.
Okay.
Referral habit loop. You read Duhigg's book, Charles Duhigg, Power of Habit, right? Cue, routine, reward.
Right.
And basically the cue is
I love it here.
I love it here.
Yeah.
Someone comes to you and says complimentary things. Mm-hmm. The routine is you don't just accept it. The routine is you ask them who's the first person that pops into your mind that you think would benefit from training here, right? And the reward is hopefully you get a referral. Now, do you get a referral every time? No. But that's the reward. If you ask enough times, right? And now, this is why I say without being a beggar. You're not begging. You're responding.
Yeah.
You're saying, awesome. I would love to work with more people like you that are getting value from this.
Now, are you training the team to do this as well? So how do you do that?
It's got to be something that kind of comes up regularly in meetings. And I'll probably be honest and say we're not the best at it. I think we could do a better job of it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I think it's hard. The first thing is the owner's got to do it.
Right.
Like if you ain't doing it, like don't even think your staff's going to do it.
Because sometimes the staff can feel like
they feel
slimy and like sleazy of like constantly asking, for sure.
Yeah. But you should bring it up at meetings. You could say like, hey, this person's really happy. Let's have a referral conversation with them. We have done this in the past where we had this thing called the 250 Club, where we would give a $250 check to somebody that was able to generate a referral through that conversation.
So a bonus
so you can reward it. Yeah, but at your meetings,
on.
you should be discussing it and things like that. But yeah, ideally, you're training your staff to do it.
Okay.
The step one is do it yourself.
Okay.
As the owner listening to this.
Now, all of these strategies.
Well, hold on. I have one more to connect to that.
Okay.
The other way to do it, like we just talked about, if they go to you. Right?
Right. Yep. They come up and say, I love it here.
The other way to do it is you go to them.
Meaning what?
Meaning you know that they're doing well. And then you ask how they're doing.
knowing what the answer is going to be.
Correct.
Okay. So you pick your client that's killing it. That's
You know they're doing well, because a lot of people may not volunteer that information.
Right.
They might not come to you and say that, but hey, you know this guy's killing it. You know this guy's doing well. You know this guy's kind of happy, right? And you can just say, hey man, how things going here at the gym, dude? And boom, there it is, right there.
So you're teeing it up.
You're just teeing it up, right? So those are two ways you can do it. Either it's kind of reactive and kind of going back to right. So one way is like you're waiting for them to come to you to tell you that you're doing great, right? And I'm hoping enough of that is happening that you can kind of use this process. But the other way is you finding someone that you know is doing well, and then prompting the question, and then following the exact same process after that.
So all of this, we have all these different strategies. Some of them are built into the tempo of the year. You know, you have certain events coming up.
Yep.
Are you tracking referrals in general and saying the last, like you talked about 3 months as a trend, right? Mm-hmm. And if all of a sudden you see like, oh, we've only had like one referral in the last 3 months, are you now inputting certain things? Are you ramping up that side of it to get more people coming in? Like, what are your expectations for referrals?
Yeah, again, it's a little, I mean, when I say it's the orchestrated process is more predictable, right, than waiting for it, it still is dependent on other people.
Right.
So I don't think it should be like you thinking, I would probably look at it more on an annual basis.
Based on that percentage, your percentages.
Yeah, because you still are a little dependent on other people doing it.
And you're going to have times of the year that are, like your March here is going to be big, maybe February, maybe only one or two, but overall we're looking at a steady flow.
Correct. And I think if you were kind of having these things built into the process, that hopefully the combo of orchestrated things, right, with accidental, right, because remember we still have that word of mouth driving, hopefully you can get to that 20% from there.
Awesome. I think we should talk about Vince's huge giveaway.
Oh yeah.
Vince's huge giveaway. So this is, if you're watching this, you got a chance to win. It's not a referral. This is an event. Vince's huge giveaway. Talk about it.
We're giving away $25,750 worth of stuff for one gym owner. I basically am celebrating. I'm close to celebrating 20 years. Believe it or not, Tom.
Fucking old. You're an old man.
Old.
You're an old man.
20 years as a gym owner.
Right.
25 years in the fitness industry. And then 10 years as a business coach, believe it or not.
A couple big landmarks coming up.
Yeah. So want to do something cool. We've done a bunch of different giveaways before. I talked about them on that one podcast that we did, went deep into that. But I've done this before, right? Where we've given away a membership in SPF in the Mastermind and things like this before. And the two people that won are both still customers of ours. And both are doing really, really well and great. So I realized that this helps people. Like this is like there may be someone that wins this that would not be able to join and not be able to get help if they didn't do something like this.
Okay.
And so I'm super excited for whoever's going to win. But this is the first time though that I brought a bunch of partners in on it. Right. Normally I just gave away my own stuff.
Your own stuff. Now you're bringing it in.
Now I'm bringing in Perform Better. They're giving away $1,000 shopping spree to Perform Better. I'm bringing in Charlie Weingroff. The Charlie Weingroff thing.
He's coming on the podcast.
Right. I got to tell you what the date is.
Okay.
Yeah. But the Charlie Weingroff thing alone.
That's huge.
Like to get Charlie Weingroff to work with your team for 2 hours.
Will change the course of your business.
Totally.
Yeah. But I think all of these
we're going to do the whole podcast with Charlie about that.
Yeah. But I think all of these things, like Nomley is involved. Bringing Nomley into could change. Yes. Any one of these things that you're going to win could totally change the course of your business, could change your business, and you're getting all these things.
Get for nothing.
For nothing. It takes about 7 minutes. Go to vinceshugegiveaway.com. It's huge, right? Vince's Huge Giveaway.
Vince's Huge Giveaway.
Fill out an application. Spend some time on it, though. Tell your story.
At the time of recording this, we've already gotten a ton of applications.
Right. But that's okay.
And I'm going to tell people right now, the way people are filling out applications is phenomenal. Like, I am telling you, people are going deep.
Good. Tell your story.
They're telling me their story.
We want to know your story.
There's not one person that's filled this application out yet that has been like 2 word answer people. Like I'm telling you, it's like I'm getting tears.
Love it.
At some of the stories that people are telling me of why they should win this and how they need help and stuff. Like it's been one of the coolest things to read these applications. So if you're going to fill it out, Like, don't half-ass it. Like, dude, there's not a chance we're going to pick someone that fills out their application half-assed. Not a shot. All right. So go deep on your application.
There should be a link in the show notes. Also, vinceshugegiveaway.com.
Yeah.
Fill that application out. Let us know your story. Anything else?
I think we beat it up. Pretty good. Go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to FBU Podcast. Guys, if you got anything out of this episode, do us a favor. Hit that like button, share this episode with another fitness business owner, and subscribe to our channel. Every one of those clicks help us out a lot. And don't forget, visit vincegabriel.com for tons of free resources. There are books, downloads, everything a fitness business owner could need. Thanks again. Have a great day.